So you want to be part of the few and the proud, but you don't know what to expect? Well, stick around and we'll let you know. What's going on, Ghost Squad? Trey here, the Ghost Tactical, and I get a question asked all the time, and comments and emails saying, hey, I've thought about joining the Marine Corps, but what can I expect? What do I need to do to be ready? And all of that. And there's really not an easy answer to that. But today what we're going to do is going to go through what I went through, especially during boot camp, and what you can expect through boot camp and all of that stuff. So here we go. The most important thing I can tell you is to be in shape, both physically and mentally. Obviously, if you show up and you're not in shape in either one of those areas, they're pretty quickly going to get you in shape. But it's nice to come in both physically in shape and mentally in shape. For me, the physical side of boot camp was pretty easy. I was an athlete in high school, played several different sports, and the physical side of boot camp was challenging, but it wasn't overwhelming. For me, it was more the mental side. I've always considered myself a very strong mental person, but I'm also very much of a smart ass. I can be a little mischievous at times, and that's really not what you want when you're in boot camp. You want to basically kind of just get through it. 13 weeks of hell, you mentally have to prepare yourself to just kind of keep your mouth shut, keep your head down, do what you're told, learn, soak all of it in, and just survive. Because if you don't, then it's going to be a much more difficult situation in 13 weeks than for other people. For me, looking back on boot camp, I really hated it at the time. Let's not lie. It sucked. But looking back on it, it was some of the funnest times because you're being transformed in from this piece of shit civilian into one of the elite people in the world, which is United States Marine. And it's a different mentality. It's not about you, it's about team, and it's something that's much bigger than yourself. But in retrospect also, we're such a small group that we have to learn how to lay our lives in our brothers and sisters' hands next to us, and they have to trust their lives with us. So it is much more of a brotherhood that people think. And a lot of people out there saying, oh, if you ever want to know if someone's a Marine, just ask them, we'll tell you. Well, you damn right we're going to tell you. I think that the Marine Corps is probably the most proud branch out there. I'm not saying the Army and Navy and Air Force and Coast Guard and National Guard, they're not proud of what they do. I think they are. Obviously, they should be. But I think the Marine Corps gives us a sense of duty and a sense of pride and a sense of belonging to something that will last forever. The words that we use in honor, courage, commitment, those are taglines and those are great marketing tools. But the words that mean the most to most of us are Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful. You'll hear us say Semper Fi all the time. And that's something that we don't just throw around. That's something that means something to us, that we care about, that it becomes part of our life, and our lifestyle is Semper Fidelis. I was at a bar one time about 20 years ago, and a guy was getting ready to be in a fight with about 5 or 6 other guys, and he just stood up and basically said, do the word Semper Fidelis mean anything to anybody in this room? And about 6 or 7 of us stood up and without even questioning went over to the bar, and we were there, and the 5 or 6 guys that were college kids and their fraternity hitting on the dude's girlfriend and all that, and they wanted to know what the word Semper Fidelis means. And one guy kind of, I guess, recognized, and he said, I think they're Marines. They quickly left. So it's one of those things where no matter where you are, where you go, there's a good chance that you're going to have a brother available for help at any time. And that's just not just in a personal thing with a fight or whatever. It's something that very few people in this world can call themselves Marines. Very few people in this world can go through what we've gone through in our life, and we have that bond forever. So no matter if you haven't talked to someone in 10 years, it's amazing if you see someone you haven't seen in 10 years or talk to them on the phone, it's like it was yesterday. At least that's the experience that I've had. You're going to find people out in life that if you're wearing a Marine shirt or a sticker on the car or whatever, you're always going to find a brother out there, and it's nice to know that. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen with the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, but I can tell you much more from the Marine Corps side that it's a real thing. So if you're looking for that brotherhood, that sense of belonging, that sense of duty, that sense of patriotism for the flag, it's real, and it happens. As far as this flag right here, this has to mean something to you if you're going to be a Marine. You go through a lot of things, and the ultimate goal is to protect this flag, what it means, what it stands for, and the people that it covers. And the Constitution is very, very much in the middle of that. And you have to, you take an oath, and that oath means something, to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And you have to believe those words. If you're there for education or for job training, those are great things to have. But if you're not serious about defending this, then you might not want to come to the Marines. You might want to go to another branch, because this flag means something to all of us, and it always will. And if you ever are wondering why we do things, that's it right there. So getting back to boot camp, when you first get there, it's going to be shock and awe. Not going to lie to you. You're going to have people yelling at you, calling you names that you've probably never heard anyone call you before. Maybe you have, but they come up with some things and get creative that you may have never heard before, and that's okay. They're going to try to indoctrinate you into the Marine Corps way of life. They're going to make you into a Marine over a 13-week span from a piece of shit civilian. You're going to be a different person. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. That's up to them to judge. But you're going to be a different person, and that's okay. There's a reason why you join the Marine Corps. You want to belong to something. You're looking for something to give you a life change. You're looking for a brotherhood. You're looking for something, and hopefully you'll find it in the Marine Corps. I'm not going to lie, the first 2 days maybe, we didn't sleep. You're not going to get any sleep the first 2 days, so make sure you get some sleep before you show up to get on the plane to go to boot camp, because you're probably not going to sleep the first couple of days. And it's not because they're trying to punish you. It's you have a lot of stuff you've got to get done. You've got to do medical. You've got to get all your gear issued to you. There's a whole lot of stuff that you have to get done in the first 48 hours. And that's before you even get to your platoon. So you're not even going to really get to your platoon and meet your drill instructors for the first couple of days, because you've got so much stuff to get done. Once again, you're going to have someone barking in your ears at all times. Remember, they're not there to kill you. They're not there to hurt you. They're there to make you a better person. So if you go in with that mentality, you're going to be just fine. So as far as training goes, the first phase is going to be a little bit different than the others. Now remember, I went through boot camp in 1994, so it's much, much different now than it was then. There are a lot more rules, what they can and can't do now, than where there was when I was in. It was much more of into making you a man back then, and understanding that you've got to grow up in order to be a leader in society and in the Marine Corps. The biggest thing I can tell you in the first phase is just go with it. It's going to be long nights, early mornings. They're going to throw a lot of stuff at you, not just about drill, but about team movements. But they're also going to teach you a lot of the history of the Marine Corps. And a lot of times you're going to be dog tired. There's a lot of physical training in that side of first phase. There's going to be a lot of mental training. They're going to try to break you as quickly as they can. And that's okay. As long as you know going into it, they're not there to hurt you. They're not there to kill you. They're there to make you into a Marine. It's going to be something that will last forever. There are things, a certain part of my life that to this day that I still do the Marine Corps way. There are things that no matter what you do, you can't get away from some of those traits and some of those habits that you're going to eat. I eat fast. Why? Because you only get maybe 5 or 10 minutes to eat every time. So I eat fast. My wife, it drives her nuts, but it's just what it is. But first phase is going to be more about breaking you in. They can start molding you from that point on, but breaking you into the military way, the Marine Corps way, and understanding the team concept, understanding the history of the Marine Corps. kind of installing that first initial pride of what it is being a Marine. So the first phase is you're basically peons, and you're going to be treated like such, and you're going to get in trouble a lot. And just understand, they're not there because they hate you. They're there to train you. They're there for a reason. The drill instructors are there to make you Marines. So first phase, that first month, it's not going to be the greatest time in your life, I promise you. But just get through it. Second phase, at least for me, I went to, I was a West Coast Marine, so I went to MCRD San Diego. So second phase, we went up to Camp Pendleton and stayed out there for a month. And you learned how to shoot the different weapons. And I'm sure you guys are going to shoot the M4. We had the M16A2 back then. But you get to learn to shoot other things as well, like, we got to shoot saws and M60s and the 50 cal and the Mark 19s of the world. You get to work with grenade training. You get to go to the gas chamber. The gas chamber is something that I get asked about all the time. Yes, it sucks. It sucks big time. But once again, nothing that happens to you in boot camp is there to punish you for anything. It's there to prepare you for real world shit that happens out in the fleet. So understand that, take it as it is, have fun with it. I had a blast with the physical side of it. The humping, the humping sucks. You have the Reaper out there at Camp Pendleton. We call it Mount Motherfucker. And yes, that's a real thing, and you have to go hump that. You're going to have 10-mile humps. You're going to have these big, long 20, 50-mile humps that you're going to have to go through over a certain time. And it sucks, especially when you're like me. I'm 5'7". When I went to boot camp, I was 5'7", 140 pounds. That ruck weighed about 80. So I'm carrying about half of my weight, over half of my weight on my back. Luckily, for my size, I was strong, I was in shape, but it still sucked. It's a mental challenge. Can you get through this? Can you make sure that mentally you can get to that next step? Take 3 feet at a time, walk 3 feet, then go the next 3 feet, the next 3 feet. Try to get that way to where you can handle it. It's all a mental test. Yes, it's physical as well, but it's all a mental test. Can you handle the mental stress of being a Marine? That's what it's all about. You're going to learn navigational skills. You're going to learn close quarter combat skills. You're going to learn fire team skills. You're going to learn all this kind of stuff that is all about molding you into being a Marine. Now, when I was in boot camp and all that, we didn't have this, but I understand now they have a thing they call the Crucible. And the Crucible is a 2 or 3 day exercise that kind of takes everything that you've learned about being a Marine with team building and all that stuff and throw you into a 2 or 3 days of hell without sleep and the combat scenarios and all of that. They're going to see, can you get through this, not just individually, but as a team. And fire teams are how we worked when I was in a lot. And your fire team's part of a squad, a squad's part of a platoon's part of a company part of a battalion, part of a group or regiment, whatever. And every little person has their piece of the cog that they're responsible for. And if one person fails, then everyone else fails. So it's nice to kind of go through that training exercise that they call the Crucible. And when you get done with that, you're going to be presented with your Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. Now, we didn't have that in boot camp, so we didn't have this ceremony on top of a mountain that you're be given your Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. For us, it was during third phase where we do all of our final testing, swim qual, and your final PFT, and your platoon inspections and all of that, where you're going to have to go through all of that stuff. We were given our Eagle, Globe, and Anchors the week of graduation. And for me, I remember a sense of, holy shit, I did it. And I always knew that I could, and probably knew that I would, but you look back on the 3 months prior and you're just like, holy shit, like, I did this and I'm a Marine now. And then no one can ever take that away from you. Once you're a Marine, you're always a Marine. And that's something that we take very seriously is, you're in the club now, you're in that fraternity, and no matter what you do, you'll always be a part of that club or fraternity. And I would imagine that at the end of the Crucible, when you're on top of that mountain and they're passing out the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor to you, it's something that will probably you'll remember for the rest of your life. Graduation. I don't remember graduation. I'm not going to lie. I think I was really looking forward to having a drink and a smoke. So the couple hours of graduation, I was just trying to get through that one last goal, get through it. I can go have me a drink and get me a smoke. It had been 3 months since I had had either one of them. Not saying that I needed one, but God bless, after the hell you go through for 3 months, you're going to need a drink and you're going to need a smoke probably, if that's your thing. So boot camp was fun. It was obviously very challenging. It was hard. It was life-changing. But ultimately, the end result is it's made me who I am, 26 years later. 26 years since I went to boot camp. And it's still a big part of who I am. There are going to be times in your life where you despise the Marine Corps, you despise the politics that go into that, you're going to despise some of the people that you're around. But if you take a step back and you look at it and say, I'm not going to allow one person or one incident change my feelings and thoughts of who we are as an organization and as a branch of military service. Who we are is much bigger than one person being an asshole or one incident causing you some temporary damage. The life of being a Marine, the thought of being a Marine is much bigger than one incident. So the best thing I can tell you guys is get through it, understand that it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, but anything worth it at the end is going to be hard and challenging. If you want ease, go to another branch. If you want it to be a fun, summer camp, go to another branch. If you want to change the world and make a difference in the world and have something to remember and something to live by and something to hold and cherish for the rest of your life, I can't think of a better way than to join the United States Marine Corps. So if you're watching this video, I hope we haven't discouraged you from being a Marine. I hope that I've helped you understand what to look forward to, at least through boot camp and all of that. So make that decision. That's a personal decision. Don't let anyone else make the decision for you, because they're not the ones that are going to have to go through what we go through. But if you've made that decision and you're ready to go, I'm always here. You can comment below, send me an email, call me, whatever, and ask questions. I'm always here, and you got a whole bunch of other brothers and sisters out there that are always here for you. So remember what we live by. We live honor, courage, commitment. We live by the thought of bands of brotherhood. Ultimately, we live by the word Semper Fidelis. So if those words could possibly mean anything to anyone out there, welcome to the club. Semper Fi.